welcome back. So today I'm doing an acrylic rebalance, and we're doing this today because it has been 4.5 weeks since her last service. So we are going in with the Glamorous Nude. I already went ahead and filed down the apex from where it was initially. I'm going to replace it back, and I'm also going to make sure I thicken the tip out to also add that structure back to the tip, because it has it got a little bit, I thinned it out as I was prepping for the rebalance, because I need to basically start with like a flatter surface than what I would need to if it was a fill, because a fill I wouldn't have to be repositioning the apex, because it only been like 2 weeks or no more than 3 weeks. For me, anything past 3 weeks is no longer a fill. It is, then you get into a rebalance, or if you have a lot of lifting, it's time for a full set, a soak off and a full set. So that is what I'm doing here, and I am just using the what is it that I'm using? I'm using the, what am I saying, y'all? I'm using my size 12 panna brush, and I'm also using the Valentino monomer. And to prep for these nails, actually check out my last video. You can kind of see how I prep for acrylic surfaces or gelic surfaces. It's the exact same thing, except I'm just not going over the entirety of the nail plate, but I always use my cuticle bit. I always go in a nip, and I use the mandrel bit, and that's really all I do. But yeah, so I always do that. And for the dehydrator, I use the Valentino nail prep dehydrator, and for the primer, I use the Valentino Super Bond. So basically everything is Valentino in this video. Yeah, pretty much everything is. And unfortunately, I was not able to get the design part in. I'm actually running out of space, so I kind of had to, like, I haven't been able to show every single step like I normally would, but I'm actually going to solve that. I am getting a different bone, so that way then I can go ahead and I can have double the space that I have on this one. So love that for me. So now I'll be able to make longer videos and all that good stuff, but and it'll also be really good quality too. But that's all I'm doing, y'all. I'm just letting you guys watch me do this. For each hand to do the fill-in, not the fill-in, the rebalance. So it took double the time what it would take for me to do a fill-in. So I think in all, I took about, in real time, I think I took about like 13 minutes. Whereas with the fill-in, I can just go in and do that in like 5 minutes, because I'm just putting usually one bead down and just going. 5 minutes is usually all it would take, but that was just not the case for this. So there's that. But honestly, most of my clients get rebalances over fills anyway, just because, I mean, I don't know, y'all just made the nails last too long and they don't come back till that 4-week mark, but hey, that's fine. Get your longevity out of your set. But I charge for a rebalance basically what I would charge for a full set, because I'm doing more work than I would for a fill. And I'm actually doing more work than what I would do for a full set, because I have to file down old product, thin it out, go back in and restructure the nail. So basically I'm adding on a step to what would already be a full set. So there's that. But anyway, so now what I am doing here is I'm going in and I'm filing the nail. So I do like to go in on the underside of the nail, and I'm using my 100 grit file from Panna. And I also do, so this is where I was telling you guys in, not the last video that I just uploaded, but the video before that with the colorful set. This is how I would like to file the nail, so that way I can get that nice crisp shape at the tip of the nail. So you'll see me going in and doing that. And then I also like to take the file, and I like to go across the top of the nail and kind of go down the sides, because it helps smooth out anything that maybe I couldn't reach with the e-file. So that is a tip. I do usually like to go ahead and hand file a little bit before I go in with the e-file, especially on longer nails, because it's just harder to get to those areas. So yeah, and honestly, that's also another reason why you should charge more for longer nails, because you can't go about it as easily as doing a shorter nail for that. Like there's certain things you just make, it takes longer, it takes more product. There's different techniques you have to use to get the same result. So there's that. But she got them like a coffin shape. That's kind of the shape she always gets. But yeah, and her nails last a very, very long time, so they always last though. Oh yeah, and I do get a couple questions about why I wear gloves. So I do wear gloves because it's to help me protect myself against contact dermatitis. So, as a nail tech, you are touching a lot of chemicals in your day. You're washing your hands a lot. You're touching monomer, acetone, there's HEMA and gel polish. There's all these different things and all these chemicals that we're using. And the whole process behind acrylics is a chemical reaction, right? So you want to make sure that you're really protecting your hands and you don't develop an allergy because you're constantly being exposed to those things. For example, like sometimes we might take our hand and wipe off the some of the uncured gel to make sure that we keep the shape on the client's nails, and that uncured gel is just sitting on our hands for a while. So you kind of make sure you're doing that even when you're cleaning out your petty basin. I always wear gloves that cover up my arm a little bit so that way I'm not getting my hand into that dead skin and that water and all that stuff like that. There's things to think about. I'm trying to protect myself in the long run, because without me my business doesn't run. There's no money to be made. I'm doing this solo. I'm on my own. So think about it that way, y'all, and just make sure you're protecting yourself. Also wear a mask, so that way, because of, to keep myself from getting sick, and then also I wear a mask before that, so I don't inhale the dust, because the dust is not good for you. We're inhaling way more dust than what the client does because we're doing it all day. So again, things to keep in mind, checks and balances. But y'all, I'm looking at this shape, and the shape is giving. It's giving what's supposed to be gave. Like, I'm really just sitting here admiring that. But yeah, y'all. So, if you have any other questions like that for me, let me know. But I actually did have one of you guys DM me about that. But that's essentially why. Because I worked at a salon and I actually saw one girl where her hand was blistering, and it was like peeling, and it's swelled up because of to the as a result of the reaction. So, just be careful, y'all. And if you all have any questions for me, be sure to leave me a comment down below or DM me on Instagram and I'll be sure to get back to you. But this was the final look. It was really cute for fall, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.